Front Row MMA, here we are at the UTC, Birmingham and Erdington, a gorgeous facility here, and we're here with Jake Hadley. 8 months with the team?
Yeah.
You did some training beforehand with Neil Simpkins? Yeah. I got that. Why the change? Was the change necessary? Was it needed, or is it just you're floating around and seeing where you can pick up anything?
This is the best gym in England, in my opinion. You know what I mean? So, I started here, and the level here, the level of sparring here, it's like unreal, and the level of coaches, it's just unreal. Like so.
We've heard, coaches have been saying a lot of good things about you. Hopefully, we're not going to give you too much of an ego, but you're saying that you're coming in and you're somebody to watch for the future. Is this sport even now something that you can't see? Is this your career?
Yeah, this is what I wanted to do since I was a young kid. I've always watched martial arts and boxing since I was really young.
I'm smiling there because you said since I was a young kid, and yeah. No offense, mate, but you're sitting next to a real old man. How old are you?
I'm 18 now, but I've always watched martial arts and boxing. My dad was an amateur boxer, my granddad was a pro boxer, so I've always been involved with like some kind of fighting, like watching it or.
When did you start training in any sort of combat sport? Because I can't imagine it was only 8 months ago. I think you've probably been training for a while.
Yeah, but I started like at a local gym when I was about 13, because I'm from Albury, you see. I'm not from Erdington, I'm from Albury, so I just started at a local gym and then built it up from there to come to the top UTC.
And you've had a couple of fights under your record,
yeah.
And you're now going to be competing in 7 weeks' time with a lot of your teammates at BCMMA. How excited are you about stepping back into the cage and showing off your skills?
Yeah, I'm very excited. BCMMA is it's a good show. I was supposed to fight on there last time, but unfortunately my opponent pulled out. So, but now I'm looking forward to fighting on this show now.
For people who haven't seen you, for people who don't know sort of what you bring into the cage, how would you summarize it? How would you describe what you do?
What I do is simple mixed martial arts. I'm good at everything. I can stand up, grapple, wrestle, everything. I train at the best gym. And we've got all different sorts of coaches: boxing coaches, wrestling coaches, grappling coaches, Thai coaches, so I train in every aspect of the game. I'm always in the gym. So
with a dad and a grandfather who were into the boxing at a pro and amateur level, was there, there was in the day the boxers were well against MMA. There was that split. Did you have to convince them, or were they more than happy for you to make that leap?
My dad's always been. The only reason I started liking MMA is because basically my dad when I was really young, I used to watch it with my dad, like on the TV. My dad didn't want me to get involved with any sort of fighting, but after a bit I convinced him. But he didn't want me to get involved with it, because it's a hard game. This is a hard game, and you can get hurt. So
you had to convince. What? I'm going to ask the question because I'm interested. What did you say? What did you say or do that made him go, all right, son, that's the choice you're going to make. Let's support it.
I just kept on to him and on to him as I got older and older. I just kept going on to him, And then eventually, he says, "Oh, forget it. He just sent me to the local gym, like so." And then I started training, and then I hardly ever missed a day. Basically, I'm in the gym like 7 days a week. Even when I got a fight camp, I'm in the gym like every day. So. What's
the ambition for you over a career in MMA? Is it, are you following? Is it you're here to follow Leon and the boys and become a world champion, the best you can do? What's the end game for you within MMA?
I want to be in the UFC and be champion. That's my ultimate goal. You know what I mean? But that's everyone's ultimate goal here. So.
And. Because I'm 18, I'm sorry, I'm a lot older than that, so it makes me, I remember back when I watched the UFC the first time and I was watching, Gracie Shamrock, I was watching like UFC 1, UFC 2. Those athletes have all changed, and the athletes that are involved have changed. Who do you look at and go, man, that's, other than your teammates, who are your inspirations outside?
Well, I like the smart fighter, the fighter that don't take no risks in getting hurt, like George St. Pierre, like, if he knows you're a good striker, he'll take you down. If he knows you're a good grappler, he'll stand up with you. And I like guys who mix it up, like John Jones mixes it up very well, like with his, he fights mixed martial arts, and that's what you got to do in this game. Because if you're not one, you only can do one thing, You know what I mean? Everyone's gonna work you out.
We're gonna go off. We're gonna have a conversation about George St. Pierre in a minute now, because you know he got a lot of slack and got a lot of flack on social media from journalists for being a safe fighter. Oh, he's gonna take you down. He doesn't finish. You see something different in that. I do too. I think it's more. So when people are saying fighters like that aren't really fighting, what would you say to them?
It reminds me of like a Sugar Ray Leonard, in my opinion. Sugar Ray Leonard was like that as well, like played it safe. You know what I mean? He wouldn't stand toe to toe with Roberto Duran. So, basically that.
It is a mental game as much as a physical one, I think. And again, I keep going back to your age, but being so young, where does the discipline to want to be here and not out with perhaps some mates, not at the pub, not at the...
I don't know any different, to be honest. I don't really go out. I never go out. Honestly, I got no social life. I'm probably the most boringest person on earth, other than the only place I am is here. Yeah. If I am here, I'm resting because I'm that done in from training. Or if I am here, I'm at college. So, really, I got no social life, honest.
Except from
here.
For people, again, what can they expect to see from you in this fight? An all-round skill set. You've talked about that, but are you a cerebral fighter? Do you do we see you sort of calculating, or do you fight off a gut emotion? Do you use a game plan? I've asked about 8 questions there. I'm sorry.
I'm just gonna see what happens. I'm gonna go in there and just fight. I don't know.
Last question, and then we'll let you go. Again, for an amateur at the beginning of their career, when we look now and we look at the biggest venues in the world, a lot of these guys, they're not just great fighters; they can talk as well. How much of that do you think is important for an MMA career?
I don't think I'm very good at talking at all, but
Is it important? Is it now that it's becoming so big? Now that there are so many events, the quiet man may be left out of the mix. Do you think that fighters, whether they like it or not, might have to start opening their mouths a little bit?
Yeah, they probably do. Yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
And somebody like what do you think of somebody like a Nick Diaz or a Chael Sonnen or a Conor McGregor?
Yeah, I like them guys. Yeah, I like them very much.
Which is the best? Who's the best?
I like Nick Diaz, to be honest, but I like Conor McGregor's style in his fighting. But I've always liked Nick Diaz from when he fought Robbie Lawler and them guys back in the day. So
that is what, mate, I appreciate you spending some time talking with us, especially when you don't. It's the first time we've really had a chance to chat. It's been wicked. Before we let you go, is there anyone you want to shout out? Anybody you'd like to say thank you for helping you get where you go?
I want to thank Yannick, Silk, Rocky, all the coaches, and all my training partners at UTC. And that's about it.
It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it.